Everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to part 2 of my Stardew Valley walkthrough. My name is Michelle, and we're picking up where we're continuing on the initial task of meeting everyone in the town. I think I'm doing a decent job at that. I get the standard people pretty quickly. And when I say the standard people, I mean those that are more easily accessible, those kind of standing around town or close by their home. And while I'm doing this, I always wonder what the idea is behind these type of games, these cozy games where they'll have that initial task being to meet everybody. In my Grimshire walkthrough, I'll add a card for that, and it locks up progression in most games. And I always wonder what the train of thought is of the developer when it comes to these type of decisions, because like myself, most players do not want to participate in this hide and seek game. Is not entertaining. And if game progression wasn't locked behind completing this initial task, most players wouldn't do it. And so I always wonder if there is a more engaging way that the developer could have made the player interact and meet everybody in town in the beginning. No shade to Concern Ape at all. This is just a general comment for games in general. Mostly, I've seen it mostly in cozy games. So while I'm going around talking to people, I'm starting to remember things from the playthroughs that I've watched. I've seen a lot of playthroughs. I just myself have never played this game. And so I'm starting to remember a couple personality quirks, and I don't remember what people like. I'm not that interested in looking up a wiki for that information just yet. But while I was in Pierre's shop and I talked to him, I also grabbed some seeds. You guys let me know what are the best seeds to grow in spring, the most profitable, and seem like it takes the least amount of time. I am interested in that. Before I go any further in this video, I want to really express my appreciation for all the comments that I got in my last part. A lot of viewers came through in the comments and just shared their opinions and their tips, and I'm really thankful for that. So shout out to the Stardew Valley community. I did find some helpful tips in that. So jumping back into the gameplay, I wanted to put like a starter garden right next to my house so that way I can easily get to it every day. I know watering is not one of my favorite things, like many people. And so the closer it is to my house, the more likely I will get it done. And also there's so much land that I haven't cleared. So it was the most, what's the word? So that was the most convenient spot. Of course, everyone's goal is to clear the whole farm pretty quick in the game. You want to clear your farm as much as your farm as possible, as quickly as possible. And so I'm just trying not to overwhelm myself because I know my farm is huge. I haven't explored the whole thing yet. And I'm a little bit curious about how far. So you do see me kind of jumping around between weeding and then chopping wood and then going out a little bit just to see how much I could explore without clearing. And I do like that there's like a lot of levels. There's parts that I have some stairs that I walk up and then walk back down, and the bridge. And I saw the river that's kind of winding through the land. And so it does look like a lot of land, and I think it's going to be fun. I don't think I've seen anybody play with this farm layout. So we'll see. And I'm also quite curious as to where the mineral deposit is on my farm. I don't know if they're kind of spread out between the rocks or if there's going to be one area dedicated to the mineral deposits. So I'm just kind of figuring those things out at this moment. I really don't have a lot to do, I think, which is a struggle that I typically have. I don't know if you guys have ever had this problem where I have things that I need to do in the beginning of the game, but it's nothing that I want to do. I want story progression. I want, real stuff to do, not just, it almost feels like busy work to go meet all the townspeople, busy work to clear your farm. Oh, but I do find some wild seeds and plant those in my garden as well. But back to having not a lot of things to do, there is a flip side. I find that most negative, there is a positive side or just a different perspective. And the other side to having things to do, like speaking to the NPCs or clearing your farm, I do find it very relaxing clearing my farm. But also, there's a sense of it is also rewarding, and then eventually you get to this just large, clear space that has a whole bunch of potential to it. And even the NPCs, sometimes they do say quirky things. You do sometimes meet someone that you're like, okay, this is who I want to romance or even befriend, or this guy's going to be annoying. And it brings different qualities into a game pretty early on. So as I'm clearing out my farm, it starts getting late. And I originally wanted to just deplete all my energy so I can just so I didn't have any leftover energy into the next day. I think that's the most beneficial thing, to use as much of your energy, because it's not like it carries over or anything. And what I understand, as long as you don't pass out, I don't think that negatively affects your energy for the next day. So I kind of just wanted to use up all my energy, but I didn't. I ended up just going in early. The visibility started getting bad because it was night. Let me just go on the next day. And so I go in, get to bed, and I notice that Traveler's Rest, the player goes to bed kind of similarly. I don't know what other games. I'm trying to think of other games that I've seen where you can just walk right into the bed. It's not like a physical, you just stop at the edge of the bed and click it. I've seen some people play Traveler's Rest, and it looks like you just walk into the bed, which I think that's fun. I think that's cute. I like that. Then the next day I wake up and there is a letter waiting for me, and it is from Willie. And since I really don't have a lot to do, I head straight to the beach. On the way to the beach, I kind of walk around a little bit to see if anyone was out, which it's like about 6:30 in the morning, so nobody was out. And you guys let me know if you're interested in seeing me play Traveler's Rest. I enjoyed watching gameplay, but I don't know if manning a inn is my type of cozy play. But you guys let me know if you enjoyed Traveler's Rest. So once I get to the beach, I enter into a cutscene, and Willie lets me know that he just returned from a fishing expedition, and he made a big profit where he's able to now afford a new fishing rod, and decides to give me his old one. I think that is a sweet thing of Willie to do for a complete stranger. But also, how much is a fishing rod? Ah, that, okay, which is cool. It's a very specific name. It's called the bamboo pole, which now it makes me wonder, the name bamboo pole. So will I be able to obtain bamboo at some point to also make my own bamboo poles? Does it catch a particular type of fish? And if not, why wasn't it just called like old pole, rusty pole, basic fishing rod, flimsy rod? I don't know. You guys will see that I am a big overthinker. I overthink everything, especially when it comes to storylines. And I would say I'm a mediocre writer, so I'm really being overly critical. So please don't come for me in the comments. Speaking of overthinking, what do you guys think about cutscenes kind of pausing time? Like you go into a cutscene and then when you come out, it's still the same time. Is it more beneficial than not? I like when a cutscene pauses the time. I typically don't like for a cutscene to interfere with my day, but I do think kind of for me in this instance, I wouldn't have mind fast forwarding an hour or two because it is so early. I wasn't able to meet anybody again. It's pretty early on in gameplay, and so I kind of was looking for things to waste time. I do understand that it's so early because I chose to go and do this when the quest told me I had till 5 o'clock to do it. But I'm asking this Stardew Valley community, if the player gets up at 6:30, I guess, is that time just solely to mess around on your farm, to go foraging, maybe go fishing, which I don't have my fishing rod just yet. What other things do you guys use with your time when your player first wakes up? Or give me different suggestions on what to do on different parts of the day. So I head back home and tend to my farm again. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to thumbs up this video and also consider subscribing and joining the community. So my plans. My plan right now is to try to get as much done on my farm and in the town as possible, like getting to know people and I guess like quest. And that way I can get really familiar with just those mechanics because I think those are like two of the really main mechanics. That's what I'm assuming. And then once I'm familiar with those, then I'll jump into exploring the caves and such. And I just don't want to spread myself too thin. I think it is more entertaining for you guys to see me get a lot of stuff done. But I know if I spread myself too thin, it is hard for me to be invested in completing this game or completing the storyline. So, which then brings me to, what tips do you guys have for clearing your farm? Should I clear everything, cut down all the trees, the rocks, the stumps? Should I cut all the grass? I think what I've seen where people typically leave the grass, because then do your animals eat the grass if you let them out free? I don't know. Or do you keep the grass and then once you get like a silo or something, then you cut it and then it counts as hay or feed for your animals? I don't really remember that part. I know that I shouldn't sell my wood or stones and etc. because it's things that I need for building projects and crafting. I definitely know not to do that. Also, what type of plans should I be already considering to put in place before summer comes? I know that I need to put everything that I can collect to the side for the community center. And so I will be doing that. I'm going to wrap up this part here. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel. If you never want to miss a video, then go ahead and hit that notification button so you can be notified every time I post. You guys stay safe and happy gaming.